Hey everybody, I'm hoping that you're all doing great. Welcome all of you to Post CAT Prep. आज हम बात करने वाले हैं IIM लखनऊ फॉर्म फिलिंग के बारे में। IIM लखनऊ का फॉर्म रिलीज हो चुका है एंड आई एम होपिंग कि जितने भी लोगों को मिल गया है आप सब लोग इसको प्रॉपरली फिल कर रहे होंगे। 10th जनवरी आपका डेट है टू फाइनली complete all the inputs that you have to do. So make sure that you adhere to the timelines. आइडियली आपका टारगेट होना चाहिए कि 9th तक ही आप इसको प्रॉपरली कंप्लीट करें सो दैट यू डू नॉट गेट इनटू द लास्ट मोमेंट हैसल। तो चलिए देखते हैं कि इस फॉर्म को कैसे फिल करना है। सबसे पहले एक इम्पॉर्टेंट इनपुट, अगर आपको दोनों आए हुए हैं, इफ़ यू हैव रिसीव्ड पीजीपी एज वेल एज पीजीपी एबीएम, आपको दोनों ही सेलेक्ट करना चाहिए। यू शुड सेलेक्ट पीजीपी एज वेल एज पीजीपी एबीएम। डू नॉट मेंशन नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन पीजीपी एबीएम बिकॉज बहुत ही अमेजिंग प्रोग्राम है। पीजीपी और पीजीपी एबीएम का प्लेसमेंट्स कॉमन होता है और इन ऑनेस्टली आपको बताता हूँ, आई हैव बीन पार्ट ऑफ IIM लखनऊ माई सेल्फ, आई एम एन एलम ऑफ IIM लखनऊ एंड आई कैन टेल यू कि एक्चुअली कोई भी डिफरेंशिएशन नहीं है। सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आपको पीजीपी और एबीएम के अंदर बराबर मिलती हैं। आप भी किसी भी कंपनी के अंदर जा सकते हो if you are part of ABM also, so do not let go of that opportunity. अगर आपने ABM में not interested मार्क कर दिया और फिर उन्होंने आपको PGP के लिए रिजेक्ट कर दिया तो फिर आपके दरवाजे IIM लखनऊ के लिए बंद हो जाते हैं। So do not do that. अपनी अपॉर्चुनिटी को मैक्सिमाइज करो, PGP और ABM दोनों में अप्लाई करो। ऐसा नहीं होता है कि अगर आपने ABM अप्लाई कर दिया तो आपका PGP में वो ऐसा मान के चलेंगे कि वो आप पीजीपी में ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टेड नहीं हो। ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होता है। तो डू नॉट डू दिस मिस्टेक। हर साल ये मिस्टेक लोग करते हैं, आप ऐसा ना करें। आई एम होपिंग कि ये इनपुट आप ज़रूर लेंगे और इसको दोनों को आप प्रॉपरली फिल करेंगे, पीजीपी एज वेल एज एबीएम। अब चलते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ एजुकेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन। सबसे पहले 10th के अंदर अगर हम चलें तो 2-3 इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें हैं। एक बार अगर हम देखें तो आप बोर्ड नेम अगर आपका मेंशन नहीं है तो आप अदर्स सेलेक्ट कर सकते हो। सब्जेक्ट नेम में आपको सारे के सारे सब्जेक्ट्स यहाँ पे सेलेक्ट करने होंगे। उसके अलावा परसेंटेज, एंटर द परसेंटेज ऑफ मार्क्स ऑब्टेन्ड। इफ़ यू हैव ग्रेड और सीजीपीए, एंटर द इक्विवेलेंट परसेंटेज ऑफ मार्क्स। एंड फाइनली आपको कन्वर्जन फॉर्मूला, आपको आई एम श्योर आपको कन्वर्जन फॉर्मूला पता होगा आपके बोर्ड के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, उसके हिसाब से आपको कैलकुलेट करना है। तो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल बहुत सिंपल बात है, लेट्स से आपने सीबीएसई के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप चल रहे हैं। अगर आपका 10 आपको मिला है किसी सब्जेक्ट में तो आप उसको 9.5 से मल्टीप्लाई करके 95% कर देंगे। तो उस सब्जेक्ट में आपका टोटल हो गया 100 और आपका मार्क्स ऑब्टेन हो गया 95। आई एम होपिंग कि समझ में आया होगा। इस तरीके से आपको बस एक ही चीज़ इंश्योर करनी है कि सारे के सारे मैक्सिमम मार्क्स को ऐड करने के बाद, मार्क्स ऑब्टेन्ड को ऐड करने के बाद जो फाइनल आपका परसेंटेज बनता है, राइट, वो परसेंटेज आपके ओवरऑल परसेंटेज से मैच हो जाना चाहिए। या उस परसेंटेज को जब सीजीपीए में कन्वर्ट करें कन्वर्जन फॉर्मूला यूज़ करके, तो वो आपका ओरिजिनल जो फाइनल सीजीपीए है उससे मैच होना चाहिए। कई बार ऐसा होता है कि आपका वो मिसमैच हो जाता है, तो बस उस चीज़ का एक बार ध्यान रख लेना। दैट इज़ समथिंग विच इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट। यहाँ पे क्योंकि आपको सारे सब्जेक्ट्स मिल रहे हैं तो ऐसा हो सकता है कि बोर्ड के द्वारा जो आपको सीजीपीए दिया गया हो उसके अंदर कुछ वेरिएशन आ जाए, बट इट इज़ एब्सोल्युटली ओके। सो डू नॉट वरी अबाउट दैट। ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं। एक बार लेट्स क्विकली मूव फॉरवर्ड। तो यहाँ तो आप सेव एंड नेक्स्ट कर देंगे, ईयर ऑफ पासिंग आप यहाँ पे डाल देंगे एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट विल बी डन। मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, आगे चलते हैं क्विकली इनटू द 12th बिट। 12th के अंदर अगर हम देखें तो यहाँ पे भी आपका सारे के सारे सब्जेक्ट और मैक्सिमम मार्क्स उसी तरीके से कैलकुलेट होगा जैसे 10th के अंदर। फाइनल मार्क्स विल बी राउंडेड ऑफ टू 2 डेसिमल प्लेसेस, वो आपको यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है। ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं। काफ़ी सिमिलर टू 10th एंड 12th का जो केस है वो सिमिलर है। ग्रेजुएशन और प्रोफेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन के अंदर अगर चलें तो अगेन यहाँ पे आपका फर्स्ट ईयर का आपको मैक्स मार्क्स और यहाँ पे मार्क्स ऑब्टेन्ड एंटर करना है। इसको भी आप कैसे एंटर करेंगे, यहाँ भी सेम आपका जो कन्वर्जन फॉर्मूला है, कन्वर्जन फॉर्मूला यूज़ करके आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं। ठीक है। तो जो भी आपका कन्वर्जन फॉर एग्जांपल फर्स्ट ईयर है, फर्स्ट ईयर में आपका फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से जितने भी आपके क्रेडिट्स बनते हैं, ओके, यहाँ पे देखो आपका यहाँ पे मेंशन्ड है कि एंटर द परसेंटेज ऑफ मार्क्स ऑब्टेन्ड इफ यू हैव अ ग्रेड और सीजीपीए, एंटर इक्विवेलेंट परसेंटेज ऑफ मार्क्स यूजिंग द प्रोसीजर और स्कीम सर्टिफाइड बाय योर यूनिवर्सिटी or institution. In case there is no conversion formula prescribed by the university, then calculate the percentage by dividing your grade or CGPA, and then there is no conversion formula, then calculate the percentage by dividing your grade or CGPA by the maximum grade or CGPA and multiply the result by 100. तो अगर कुछ स्पेसिफाइड नहीं है तो आप ये फॉर्मूला यूज कर सकते हैं कि आपका जो CGPA है उसको आप मैक्सिमम CGPA से डिवाइड करके 100 से मल्टीप्लाई कर दीजिए। जैसे मान लो आपका CGPA 8 है, मैक्सिमम CGPA 10 है, तो 8 बाई 10 इंटू 100, तो आपका 80% मार्क्स हो गया। ठीक है, तो आई एम होपिंग कि ये वाला आपको समझ में आया होगा। ठीक है, तो दिस पार्ट इज डन। तो आपका फर्स्ट ईयर का कैलकुलेट हो गया, सेकेंड ईयर का कैलकुलेट हो गया। इफ यू विल जस्ट क्विकली मूव अ लिटिल बिट अपवर्ड्स, या जस्ट अ लिटिल स्क्रॉल डाउनवर्ड्स, या so for example let's say there is maximum marks which is 500 and marks obtained which is 485. So Niket, can you tell me how did you calculate this?
So, sir, it was mentioned in the scorecard only, the total marks and marks obtained, and the percentage is done automatically.
Okay, so friends, very simple. How, let me tell you how can you calculate if in case it is not mentioned in your case. Okay, so let us take a very simple example. Okay, let me share an Excel sheet with you. I'm hoping that my sheet is visible. Okay, so now let us say that I'm calculating for year 1, right? So let's say semester 1 and semester 2. Okay, in semester 1 let's say I have 5 credits. Okay, so in semester 1 let's say I have credit 1, credit 2, credit 3, credit 4, credit 5. Similarly in semester 2 I have credit 1, credit 2, credit 3, credit 4, 4 credits. Let's say every credit is calculated for 100 marks, or let's say for every credit I have received a certain pointer, grade point. So let us say that for first credit I have a grade point of let's say 8. Let's say I have a 7 here, let's say I have a 6 here, 5 here, 4 here. Let's say I have a 5, 6, 7 and finally 8 here, right? So these are my grade points for these credits. Now what I can do is, let us say that that's my grade point. Now I also have a conversion formula. Let's say the conversion formula for my university is multiplied by 10, which is into 10. So all I have to do is, for my first credit I have this into 10. So that becomes my percentage. So if that is my percentage, so I can take max marks, I can take this as 100 and obtained as 80. Okay, here it will become right. So that becomes our marks obtained. Okay, so I've calculated, simple. Similarly here also I can calculate. And similarly, I have the same thing here. And here again, the obtained becomes like this. So in the first year, I have a total marks of, and the marks obtained of, right? So that finally the first year my percentage comes out to be 62%. So I'm hoping that part is clear. So do make sure that you do these very simple calculations and be very clear of what number are we inputting. I'm hoping that this part is clear to all of you. So now let's get into this part. Is now I'm hoping that done. So similarly, you will calculate and you will put in. Let us see if we have anything else by scrolling downwards. So you'll put all of this here. Similarly for masters, if in case you have, if you'll quickly move on to the masters bit as well. So masters degree. Okay, so what do we have for master's degree?
Sir, I think my master's degree is locked because I
Okay,
have not selected in the CAT.
no problem, no problem. Let's move to the work experience part. Okay, so if you move to the work experience part, again, indicate only paid and full-time experience after bachelor's degree till 31st July 2024. So only for that duration you have to give. Okay, acquired after completing the bachelor's degree. Okay, acquired after completing the bachelor's degree till 31st July 2024. So only after that, you can present it. Okay, so if you have completed your bachelor's degree till 31st July 2024, only then should you talk about your work experience, and that too should be paid and full-time. It should not be an unpaid or a part-time freelance activity or apprenticeship or articleship or internship. Okay, I'm hoping that part is clear. Organization and designation. So organization, designation, you can check your offer letter or your promotion letter, or you can check with the HR, or your company portal will also show your designation below your name if that's the case. So you can talk about from and to, and then completed months if you will put it, right? So then completed months and completed days. Monthly remuneration. How do we calculate monthly remuneration? Very simple. Your offer letter will have a CTC. Your company documents will also have your CTC. So what you can do is just divide your CTC by 12. You will get your monthly remuneration, right? So do not think about whether it is pre-tax or post-tax. It is absolutely fine. You can put either of it. If your whatever is your CTC, you can just divide it by 12 and put it as your monthly remuneration. I'm hoping that part is clear to you. Nature of the work. Again, nature of work, you can put it very concisely. For example, let's say working as quality manager for Bharti Airtel, right? Working in the telecom department, or let's say working in the planning department of XYZ company, right? So network planning, or let's say working on let's say demand planning for XYZ company. So that is the nature of work. Again, reason for leaving you have to put in. You can you can put in, let's say higher studies, right? Higher studies. So that is a good reason. Or it can be, if in case between two opportunities, there can be a COVID layoff. It can be let's say better opportunities, any of that, right? So you can put that. So it should not be a problem. So that is about your work experience. Do we have anything else here? Okay, so
No, sir.
nothing else. So then we quickly move forward to scholastic and extracurricular achievements. See, scholastic achievements are primarily academic achievements. Okay, right? So if you have any scholarships or any awards that you have received, any papers that you have published, etc., etc., those are scholastic in nature, correct? So if you have received anything during your your school or college, during your graduation, or even during your schooling, you can present it. Okay. Give details about your accomplishments, awards received, and position held in sports and hobbies. So second one is about sports and hobbies. You have to give details of your accomplishments. Okay. So you have to make sure that, again, if you are putting something in as for sports or hobbies, you have to give the details. For example, here the person has done a little bit of detailing and put in numbers also. It's always good to put numbers. If you can put in some numbers, that will always be great, but do not put random numbers because you'll need to justify it, right? So to make sure that you do it. Why do you wish to pursue the education in management? So it is primarily your YMBA. And what is your career plan? Which is your short-term and long-term goals combined with YMBA. So as part of our HR Q&A at post-CAT prep, we have studied, we have understood how to answer YMBA, and we have one-on-one reviewed that also in our HR Q&A review, and similarly your short-term long-term goals. So when I combine the two, I get an answer to this question. I'm hoping that part is also clear. Moving on to MBA-ABM. If you are applying into MBA-ABM, you have to talk about some of these questions. So exposure to rural areas, type 0 if not applicable. Okay. Now year and month you have to put in. How if you have no exposure, you should put in 0, right? Exposure to rural areas, nature of exposure. Okay, whether it is for any company that you were there, or whether you are staying there yourself, with your family, etc., etc. Okay, so that is the exposure to rural areas. Exposure to rural, let's say for example, I have spent 2 years in my village, so I can put 2 years. Okay, nature of exposure to rural areas, you can say that it was my normal place of stay. Okay, so mention that whether it is about some duties or whether it is your normal place of stay. Is or are your parents' occupation anyway related to agriculture and allied sector? What are allied sectors? For example, let's say agriculture is one, but there are a lot of agri-based elements also. For example, let's say fertilizers, right? Let's say tractors. Somebody who is into tractor manufacturing is into agriculture allied sector. Somebody who, let's say, if somebody's father is working in a fertilizer company, so he is in a agriculture allied sector. So that is what you mean by allied sector. Okay, so is or are your parents, so it's specifically your parents, right? So if that's the case, you put in a yes or you put in a no, right? Please provide reasons in descending order for your motivation and interest for applying into ABM. Okay, so see, there are a lot of reasons that you can give. See, if you can relate to agriculture in some way, okay, that is always the best thing to do, correct? If you've seen agriculture and if you've seen some of your family members do it, you can really build that connect, saying that I have seen this happening, and I believe that there is a lot of work that can be done in this segment. Okay, so first point should always be more personalized, should be connected to your story, right? Rather than generic gyan saying that agriculture is a very amazing sector, agriculture contributes this much to GDP, etc., etc., right? So make sure that you put in very connected to your story as to how is your story connected to agriculture, or how is your parents' story or your family story connected to agriculture, and what have you seen in agriculture, what do you think can be done better, how can agribusiness management can change things around, how can you make a contribution through ABM, is something which you have to talk about. As a lighter note, in the third point, you can talk about agriculture being a very important contributor to the Indian GDP, and also when you do that, do a little bit of research also. As part of postcard prep, we are anyways going to do a deep dive of Indian economy in this season, so that you will be able to understand. So I'm hoping that part is clear. In the third point, in the last order of importance, you can mention that even during COVID year, agriculture remained very it was not very impacted. Was one sector which showed a lot of resilience, right? And it's a segment where you believe that there is a lot of scope of improvement. In fact, if you want to read more about various sectors, you can also read at a very amazing site called ibef.org, ibef.org. Read more about agriculture sector and allied sectors. You will be able to refine your answer, right? What are the constraints and possible solutions for the development of agribusiness sector in India? Again, I would say that it is again very subjective, but I would say do a little bit of research on the agribusiness sector. Do not just copy paste or not use chat GPT. Do your research, understand, talk to people in your family who are from the agri business field or agriculture field, understand, right? So for example, a lot of agribusiness in the last couple of years, people who have been in the ABM, in fact, as part of the preparation, we will have people from ABM also coming in and sort of giving us inputs. But for now, for the sake of filling the form, you can talk to people from let's say agriculture sector and understand the issues that they are facing. For example, one issue that I am sure you are aware of is reaching the market and getting the price for the produce, right? That is one. Second, irrigation and irrigation facilities for smaller pieces of lands, right? That is another piece. Third piece is managing the storage of the food grains. How can you further improve that? So these are some of the common problems that you should all start thinking about, because if we are to do well in the field of agriculture, we'll need to solve these very basic problems. Name 3 companies or organizations where you would like to work after successful completion of MBA-ABM program. See, there are some agri-based companies. For example, let's say Mahindra is into manufacturing of tractors, right? And there are several other companies. There is PepsiCo, which is there. What I would recommend is that you should go to IIM Lucknow website. You will find a few agri-based companies that are there, and you can talk about them. Okay, so that is something which you can do and you can put in there. Your work experience related to agriculture and allied sector, if you have, you can put in here, right? And then finally, you upload your photo and document and you are done. I'm hoping that you all enjoyed this session. Do make sure that you fill in your forms absolutely carefully, and make sure for all the people at Post-CAT Prep GDPI, get your forms reviewed and try to submit in time. Okay, everybody should get their forms properly reviewed. We are going to review each and every form diligently so that we can create a positive bias in the interviews. For all the people who are not part of Post-CAT Prep, you will have the link in the description. Get started ASAP so that we can help you achieve your dream B school as well, with a lot of personalized attention and guidance. The details of which will be available in the description. God bless, take care, and bye-bye.